Good morning, everybody. This is the DeFi Crypto Alliance show, where we're doing our best to be the bridge between crypto and other investors and entrepreneurs to help everybody understand what we feel like is the biggest opportunity over the next few years, that being cryptocurrency. And according to the charts more recently, we feel like we're in the right place at the right time. Pumped to have you guys on today. It's going to be a lot of fun to touch on some of the interesting talking points going on right now. Corey, take it away.
Absolutely. Corey Geary here in the hot ass state of Arizona. Flew in yesterday from Puerto Rico, and as soon as I walk out of the airport, it was 117 degrees here, and my wife's like, oh, but it's not sticky. I don't care. It feels miserable. Give me a little bit of stickiness out of 85 degrees over 117 any day. And I say that because I've been here for 22 years. So like that's, but man, yeah, just having a blast being out here and on this journey with you guys where we're going to use cryptocurrency as a wealth creation tool and then use real estate as a wealth preservation tool and hopefully change some of your guys' lives and your family's lives and bring your friends along for the ride. You'll be doing yourself a disservice by not telling your family and friends, especially the ones that have a little bit of extra money tucked away on the side that's not making money on their money. Educate them, bring them in. We're going to do our best to make sure we're pumping all your guys' bags and onboarding all of our entrepreneur and real estate friends. It's just been such a blessing to be in this ride with you guys. And man, what a week we have seen. I don't know, Dane, but I have this gut feeling that this is towards the end of the bear market. Like you got the Jubilee year that's ending in September, which is the 9th month. We are now what? I've been gone for 2 months. So we're in the 7th month. So man, I just feel like this news with XRP winning the SEC case with Alex Mashinsky getting arrested. How bullish can that be? I think that's massively bullish for the ecosystem. And then you got Bitcoin ETFs. I heard or I saw on Twitter they got approved in Australia and they're getting applied for in Europe. Europe, obviously, they're going to be doing it out here again. And I just feel like, man, we are somewhere near that end of the bear if we haven't that doesn't mean we're going to do a 10x tomorrow, guys. I'm not saying that. I'm just a dude on the internet making speculations. But, man, I got a gut feeling this could be it, and it could be it for the Pulsechain ecosystem. The chart looks just like every layer one that launched that Dane's been talking about since the beginning we've been doing this show. And it played out to the T because human emotions never change. And that's why charting is so important and why it's so powerful and why TA is actually pretty powerful is because human emotions don't change and they act the same every single time. Market cycles happen every single time. There's bear and bulls, and it's just going to happen like clockwork. And man, it's super exciting.
Oh man, super exciting. I really like that some of the Bitcoin ETFs have been approved in other countries because it puts pressure, in my opinion, on the United States.
Oh.
It's like, look, you got to get on or get left behind. And I'm grateful that you're seeing some of the politicians on Twitter. I'm trying to remember who the couple are that I've been following, but there's some that are for crypto, they're for decentralization, they're for anonymity, and it's nice to see the ruling in XRP come out like it did. I thought it was a really fair ruling, how they didn't damage or harm the public. Where they said, hey, the initial sale for the public on a public exchange, so things could be seen, so there couldn't be backdoor deals done that are ugly. They said, hey, that's fine, but they said that it's a security if you're selling to what's it called, to not retail but
private. I saw it too.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So to sell privately, not on a public exchange. And so XRP has, as I read a tweet of apparently almost $800 million that they sold in private deals to big VCs and things like that. So they're going to have to figure out what to do in that respect because those were securities from the judge's ruling. Right. But the public sale is good. And that's, in my opinion, that's what it should be, right? The government should be here to protect the crowd, to protect the people. And I like that they didn't give a big middle finger to the public who'd gotten involved there. I'm happy for the XRP guys. I'm not an XRP holder. I'm not about what XRP is about, but good for those guys. That's one of the worst price charts in all of crypto. And hey, to see a little bit of green candles, I'm for it. It's bullish for everybody, in my opinion. And if I was an XRP holder, I would look at rotating.
Right now, right? Yeah,
I got a little bit of pump. Now we rotate.
That'd be a good opportunity. You know what's also, what also had no VCs or private back-end deals and was only 100% strictly public? Us.
Let's
Our
go.
ecosystem.
Let's go. It's so great. It is great.
Man. So guys, come on the show. Come rap with us. We would love to hear any talking points that you may or may not have. There's Corey, an investor. Would love to see you, bro. I haven't seen you in a while. But come on in and rap with us about this. It'd be cool.
Absolutely. Let me pull up these guys. Can you guys continue to talk about EHEX so I can buy more? I love the show, guys. Hey, man, you buy it up. I hope it goes great. I really do. We're seeing the
penny.
Yeah, we're seeing the BankX guys selling more on your head. So by all means, if you like being exit liquidity and you love the feeling of that, that's I can't think of a better place. But go buy it up.
I hope in there for them that there's enough buy pressure to offset that sell pressure, and we can get on our way.
Yeah. I mean, we just want them out. Once the BankX guys have sold, then you feel pretty good about it. Like by all means,
I know, right?
It's just timing, Like, it's funny to see Twitter. People are funny, man. You see like a chart pump, like what's Westcott has been doing the rounds more recently because Pulsechain did a little pump.
Pulsechain's been ripping, dude. It's pumped harder than Pulse.
Yeah, and it's great to see. I think it's really cool. It's just funny to see the sentiment wax and wane and people doing victory laps and then going quiet and disappearing. And hey, we're here for it. I think it's fun. All right, let me pull up some.
While you're doing that, I'll drop in the link again if anybody missed
it.
it.
Put it in there.
Please hop in, guys. We would love to talk crypto with you. This is Open Mic Friday. We had taken off the last couple of days. I was traveling from Puerto Rico out to Arizona. I'm back out here for 3 weeks, and then I'm back in Puerto Rico for the remainder of the year. It's going to be quite the journey.
All right. Let's do this. Let me refresh this so we can get most recent price feed and we can see what's going on the Pulsechain ecosystem. So, man, I'm telling you guys, I think it's so freaking bullish with XRP being ruled the way that it was. Couldn't be more excited about the opportunities for crypto in general. And the fact, oh my gosh, I've been thinking about this all day, yesterday and today. The fact that we're here early in this time frame, buying the bottoms, being able to build our bags, ready to rock. I mean, Corey and I would love to have 2 or 3 more months of downward pressure so we could buy more at good pricing. But hey, once the game kicks off, we're cool with that too. So it's
that was the importance of us guys packing our bags this whole time and not waiting, right? And not like, maybe it's gonna go down another 50%, or maybe it's gonna go down another. You don't know. And so you got to pack your bags as you're moving along this journey because it can take off and leave you anytime. And we got our good friend, Mr. Frank on. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Frank?
Hey, guys. How's it going? What's up, Corey?
Great.
First time on the show, man. Welcome.
I've got some feedback. It's my first time on, so I'm. How do I make sure that I'm not hearing myself?
So you probably have the YouTube show going the same time while you're on. Is that correct?
There we go.
You need to turn off the show.
Got it. Thanks. What's up, guys? Well, hey, what a great week, huh?
What a great week. I tell you, and we've talked about it a little bit on the show, and I'm doing like my best to learn to master my emotions. But gosh, like when green candles are there, I can't help but feeling good. And when they're red, I can't help but feeling a little bit down in the dumps. And I'm like, how can I just feel a little bit more even? And I'm working on that. So it's nice, man. It feels good to be able to see some green candles.
I think it's good to celebrate when there is green candles because you earned it, right? You went through the pain, you've been DCAing, you've had the faith, right? And just this confirms that your faith was true and your beliefs were true. Now, we're not all the way there, of course, but like this just helps. And so I think it's okay to, celebrate a little bit, maybe take the wife out to dinner or maybe like do a victory lap around the house. There's nothing wrong with it. And I think all it does is if you, I believe I'm a big believer in the law of attraction, is if you're grateful and you're grateful for the green candles, you're grateful for the ecosystem, you're grateful for crypto, and you believe and you feel good about it, it's going to attract more in the future. So
attracts like
my beliefs. Yep.
You guys mentioned earlier that, it's, I'm not quite sure how you said it, but like it's a financial crime. And I've heard this before to not be in crypto right now. And even Ian Bellina says that with Token Metrics. And I had a really honest conversation with a good friend of mine of 20 plus years yesterday. And I said, look, you are, not managing your portfolio well, even if you don't have at least some crypto in your bag. And I really just was like, dude, I was practically shaking him because I looked him right in the eye and I'm like, listen, I've been in this for a while. You got to trust the process here. And it went right over his head still.
I mean, you could try onboarding him into Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are usually the ones that people kind of like are starting to gravitate towards. And I mean, even think about it, even Ethereum, right? Like I think Ethereum's an easy 5X. I could be wrong, but like, where's he going to get 5X in any else's? And he might find some penny stocks or some micro cap stocks that he might be able to get that in. But it's going to be very difficult where we can look at Ethereum and go, man, that's what I call a free 5X. And it might do a free 10X. I don't know, right? And so you could try that angle with the macro, the blue chips.
Good point. I'd probably hit him over the head a little too hard.
No, we do the same thing. I was on a number of calls this week talking to people that are no coiners. There's some real estate people from one of the conferences that we went to, and it can be tricky just trying to describe the opportunity. I tell every single one of them, I say, look, whether you like Pulsechain, whether you like Richard Hart, it doesn't matter. If you're getting no crypto exposure right now, though, I feel, and I could be wrong, but I feel 99% certain in a year, you're going to be wishing that you would have and thinking, man, I could have bought double, 5, 10 times, 50, 100 times the real estate that I could have by being in the market and using that money to go buy real estate, if that's their goal. And that's largely a lot of our guys' goal. They want to get to their real estate goals quicker. And so like some get it and some don't. And those that don't will be very, very upset that they didn't pull the trigger, in my opinion.
The problem is, Dane, the ones that don't, a lot of these guys, and it's going to be unfortunate, they're going to be coming back, texting us, calling us a year from now when everything's up, a 5 and 10X. And then that's when they're going to want in. It's like, okay, well, yeah, you can come in, man. But bro, I could have had you 10 times the amount.
10 times.
And you had just, gotten over the fear part, gotten over the uncertainty and listened. I mean, you buy when people are fearful and you sell when they're greedy. It's just, and I get it. It's easier said than done. We've been there. Like it's hard to push the buy button sometimes on crypto when it's in the dirt, when it's just down, you're like, you get fearful. Like it's very uncomfortable. And I'm sure it's gonna be the same when you sell too. Right. And Frank would know. Frank's gone through multiple X's on assets, which is really cool. And I know it's probably going to be the opposite because you're feeling so euphoric and you can be like, oh, but what if it doesn't have 2X? What if it doesn't have 3X? Right.
I sold the top on Matic. Literally. Wow. I got into Matic at 0.018 cents and sold it at $2.56.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So there is, and this was early on and I didn't didn't really know what I was doing yet, and I also did a 50x with Helium. Bought it at $1.33. Did sell it at part of it at the top at 50. I think it was $56, $59, something like that. Yep. And then Hex, but I kept it all. So I'm in under a penny with Hex, and
you're still good then.
Yeah.
Cost base is around 3.5 cents right now. Yeah.
So, and one other thing too is when I was talking to my friend yesterday, he said, he was considering putting cash into a property, a couple $100,000. And I'm like, to me, it's a bigger risk to get a lesser amount. Okay, let's say you get 2 to 5% appreciation in a year on a condo in Chicago, let's say. I'm just using, I don't know. This is not financial advice, because I do sell real estate in downtown Chicago. But I was looking at this going, why would you put $200,000 into a condo and invest in it, expecting, average marginal returns, 8 to 10%, possibly over time, where you could even just take $10,000 with that as okay, fine, this is throwaway cash, put it into crypto. And like you mentioned, what if Ethereum goes up 5 to 10x? You made $50,000, $100,000 on $10,000 versus, $10,000 possibly $10,000 over the course of the year. Because you can't time, look, in residential real estate, you can't time the market, period. You just can't do it. Whether you're buying or selling, if you, get married, you're moving. If you got kids, right, you're moving. If someone
dies, happen,
you're selling. So anyway, I just think because we've been in this for so long and have ran these numbers in our head and stuff, but it's not easy to share that with people and just say, look, might want to hedge your bet here,
in some respect, right? Have some exposure, and that can be different for everybody. Yeah, I'm with you. I had a call yesterday or the day before with a guy, and he's like, well, how much do you think that I should get started with? And I'm like, look, I can't tell you how much to get started with, but like, what are your goals? And he's like, well, I'd like to make $500,000. I'd like to get to $500,000 and multiply some of my capital. And I was like, well, let's be like, and no financial advice, but man, let's be conservative and say you get like you said, a 10x or 20x. For our math, we used a 20x. Today, let's say you get a 20x on your money over the next couple of years. Well, what do you need to have it play? You need 25 grand. You need 25 grand to play on a 20x to get to $500,000. And he's a real estate guy. And so I'm like, imagine how much more real estate you could do with $500,000 and borrowing other people's money. And he's like, because he's got this cool portfolio, and he's like, oh, it's great, and I love it. But he's like, man, I'm not going to be wealthy and cash flowing until I'm 60. He's like, I need like short-term money, like money in the next couple of years. And I was like, dude, you're in the right place. You just need to pull the trigger. And so I've got to follow back up with him today, and I'm hoping we can help him. So that'll be fun to see.
Hey, what's up, Sloth?
The goat. We got the goat.
Yeah, no school today.
Oh no, got out early, baby. Last day of the summer semester.
Oh, nice.
Now you get to do crypto.
I don't know about that. I was about to go to the gym just now, and I saw you guys live. I was like, screw it. I'll hang out with them for a couple minutes before I go.
I love it.
Then on Sunday, I'm heading out to Mexico for like a dental trip with my school. So I got just a couple of days to relax. Yeah.
Oh, nice, man. What part of Mexico?
A couple places: Mexico City, Guadalajara, and then Pujol, couple places. Yeah.
Okay, that's gonna be a blast, man. I love Mexico. I always have fun going down there, man. And it's cheap. Your dollar goes a far way in Mexico, man.
Yep. So I'm excited about that. Gotta actually get packing soon, but there's always time to talk crypto, though.
I love it. Yeah,
it's good to see you, Frank. How you doing?
Hey, good, Sloth. How are you, man?
Doing great.
Good.
The people want to talk about Icosa now that Sloth's here.
Of course.
Let's do it. So in fact, what are your thoughts on Icosahedron? Alex has teased at things that he may or may not be building. Do you have an inside track or scoop on any of that stuff?
I do not have an inside track or scoop. I know pretty much what you guys all know. I mean, he's creating a bunch of things. Like he's doing the Rocket Pool fork. I know he's been a contributor to Hex Scout.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a contributor to Hex Scout, helping that with like Drew Young and everybody. I'm pretty sure he's teased at an idea of figuring out a way to do like index funds on the blockchain a little bit more like in a unique way. So I'm interested to see how that pans out, especially like how you can like connect that to the pHux system because they have their own pseudo index funds, and if he's creating them too, there could be some cool interactions there. But like it's pretty. I think it's pretty straightforward. He's created a really cool system that he can plug into anything else he creates in the future, right? Like the common criticism of the Hedron and Icosa system is like if the auctions dry up, then like there's no value, the value prop kind of goes away, and if nobody's buying Icosa or has a reason to buy Icosa, then there's never going to be like volume anymore. And so all of these things have the potential to add extra utility on top of Icosa, which kind of that value then trickles that back down through the entire ecosystem.
You can kind of like buy pressure for Icosa, the game's back on.
Yep, and that's kind of like I don't want to say goal, but that's like kind of the secret sauce for any kind of incentive token, where it's like the end point where all the value is like the end thing that gets distributed for providing value. If you can hook up like a fee generation kind of platform or system to it, then that fee generating platform kind of acts as an engine for the whole system, and it trickles up. Right. So like me personally, I was never on like I was fine without it. Like the mechanisms of the system are sufficient for me to speculate my money into the system. I don't need like hard mechanisms behind it for every single point, but having it, if we get it, because I don't know if he's going to necessarily plug Icosa to it. Well, actually, no. For the NFT place, like the NFT auction house for Whatsa's and HSIs, he does say the fees are going to be paid in Icosa. So there will be some things to give Icosa utility, and the bids are going to be on Icosa too. So we will have something. He's publicly said that we're going to have stuff like that. And so all of that is just going to funnel back into the system. And the way it funnels back into it is essentially putting momentum towards potentially arbing the hex price up, locking more hex away to arbitrage the prices together, but then pushing the hex price up, pushing the rest of the system up.
He's also talked about some kind of charity that he's doing, some kind of like, where how like other ecosystems will have grant programs, something that I heard him talking about it on an interview one time, but I didn't catch all that. You know more about that?
He talked about it with, I think, when he was on Maddie Allen's stream when they were reviewing the Hex documentary clips. It sounded similar-ish to like what Cult DAO was doing, where they're like trying to provide like a decentralized way to raise funds for projects and stuff.
Yeah, that was it.
But I don't think it's decentralized necessarily. I think it's like an actual legal entity.
He wants to make it an actual charity. Yep.
And I think that makes sense. I think for something like this, being centralized, being on the books, to have that efficiency of centralization works really well. I mean, I think it's something that Pulsechain could use, incentivizing people to build. I mean, honestly, some of the things that we've seen that have the most value in the system aren't coming directly from RH. Like they're coming from like the Alexes, the Bucks, the liquid loans, etc.
Agreed.
And so the more of that we can have, the less pressure on RH to perform as well as to perform, but also more stuff for us to play around with and put our money into and hopefully make some money on top of it.
Yeah, we love doing that.
Bud gave a analogy in the spaces. It was yesterday, wasn't it, Corey? They did those spaces. And he said that we're like a small college town where marijuana was just legalized. And there's a lot of interesting things that could happen in that type of scenario. And it's really unique in that many of the builders that are building cool stuff, that they're working together, that they know each other. They're kind of like have these relationships because everybody came in through Richard Hart and Hex. And the opportunity to be able to have synergy between those things is really pretty wild, where we could see a lot of this stuff, like the like pHux or Fame or Fiat. You've got Power City, you've got Liquid Loans, you've got other projects that will be liquidity forks. You could see potentially these things outperforming their previous counterparts because there is unique synergy and unique relationships in our ecosystem, and we're the small college town right now about to potentially blow up. I like that analogy. I think it's really exciting.
It works perfect because a small college town, you know, you got a bunch of businesses that are side by side. They're working together. They know each other. And if you go in a big city and you got one business on one side of the city and another business on the other side, they probably don't do any business together. The odds are they don't even know each other. And that's how Ethereum is, right? Like no one knows each other really. I mean, there's communities, don't get me wrong, but like our ecosystem, we're one giant community that all works together and we all hang out with each other and we're all, I mean, it's amazing what we have developed, and that's all because of Hex.
Yeah. It's network effect. It's just another example of how network effects strengthen as the number of users increase. And so if you have a conjoined system where everybody who plugs in is plugging in under the same umbrella, well, it just becomes that much easier to amass economic energy.
Yeah, that's 100%.
When I introduce people to Hex, you know, I say there's over 100 different YouTubers that are doing this, probably more than that now. And I would feel comfortable having them watch any of them about Hex, you know, and then watch for, you know, like you guys watch Sloth, like watch the top 10, whatever, and you're taken care of. You know, I've been in other coins where you can't find anything else out about the coin itself. You get in the Telegram group, it's very lightly sprinkled with some dialogue. Usually it's complaining, it's somebody can't figure out how to, you know, stake something or do something like that. We are so lucky that in the majority of the coins that are launching on Richard Heart, we know stuff about. We can get access to information, and if we can't, we can find people with the right information. It's so powerful. You know, there's nothing worse than being feeling alone in a coin. Like, what's going on here? Like, what? That is the.
That's why you sell.
That's right. Yep, that is exactly right.
And you nailed it, Frank. Like, if you want to go get a hold of Vitalik right now, or you want to get a hold of, you know, like somebody of that nature, get a hold of, you know, like the guys over at Uniswap and whatnot. If you're just a regular person, like you probably don't have that access. Whereas right now we have the opportunities to have that access because we're the small college town. And I think it's fascinating. I was thinking about this a lot last night. I was talking with our friend Josh Corey. I was talking with Josh. We were talking about pHux. And man, I mean, when I first came into DeFi, I'm on Ethereum, and you just, at least from the people I was getting information from, you use Uniswap, and the stable coin was USDC. And then beyond that, like you go swap for whatever you're going to swap for.
Coinbase is your exchange.
Yeah. And that was and that was just what you did. And it's interesting because those aren't necessarily the most efficient platforms or the most efficient tokens or ways to do things over there, but they're so heavily ingrained because that's just like what people have gotten accustomed to. Whereas on Pulsechain, you could really shine the light on something like the Liquidity forks, where, you know, the Liquidity guys seem like they're very intelligent. They could build something that is really cool. But, you know, like many people building protocols on the blockchain, and they're not necessarily business and marketing people. And so, you know, you can have the Liquid Loans guys, the Power City guys come and not only have some business acumen attached there, but also first mover advantage where you're having this cool new ecosystem. Liquidity forks are coming in quickly. You have the same thing with pHux, which is the balancer fork that, once again, like, it's really cool, but not many people know about it or utilize it over on Ethereum because it's not something that there's first mover advantage that's well known. Whereas in my opinion, man, I think there's a really big spotlight being shown on things like pHux because people want to go where their money's treated best. And if you could go, even if it's just the LP pools, and you could earn the incentive token, which on pHux is the pHux token, and that price chart is one of the best looking price charts in all of crypto right now, certainly all of Pulsechain. You can be earning that token instead of the incentive token that appears, for all intents and purposes, as a down-only token right now. I mean, there's a lot to be said about it.
It's pumping with the market in the last couple of days. It's been having a little bit of a...
There's a little bit of life in it.
Yeah. There's speculation behind it because, I mean, people are going to speculate because it's RH's fifth coin. Who knows what he has down the road. I hope he does integrate something for that coin. Who knows, though? It's hard to say because I don't think PancakeSwap doesn't have anything integrated. Does it? Does PancakeSwap's incentive token, the cake token, have it really any use case?
No, I don't know off the top of my head.
You can get more of it to get into more of the single-sided pools and do some more stuff there, but it's not anything like the pHux token and the way that it's utilized. So get this, and if you guys know better than me or I say something wrong, feel free to correct me. But the way I understand it is if you go into pHux and you provide liquidity, well, you're going to earn the pHux token. Not only that, but if you're in so you buy your pHux, if you pair it with Pulse, and then you go and you can take the token that represents that liquidity, you can go and stake it out and time lock it for up to a year. And if you do that, it gives you better APRs. It gives you a boost on your other pools.
Correct.
And then not only that, but you're earning fees. You're earning a portion of the fees that the protocol is producing.
Correct.
But the fees that it's producing are being paid out in all of the other coins that are being swapped and held and liquidity provided on. Well, those tokens are then being sold and turned into pHux, pushing the price chart up and then redistributed to the people that are the holders and stakers in there. And so it's really interesting game theory. The price chart says that the market seems to really value it right now. And man, it's fun to be able to be a part of things like that and be early.
Hey, real quick before Drew gets on here. Hi, Drew. What is the amount that people should put in the farms, in the pools themselves? Like, what, you're not putting your entire bag in them, right? Like, what is
Dane's very aggressive, where I'm very conservative, and that's why you gotta come up with your own conclusion on how you want to play the game and what risk you're willing to play the game with. But
so here's one of the strategies that I'm playing, and I'll put it out there. Maybe I'm wrong, and we can all learn from my mistakes and my misgivings. But I think the belief that I have is I think that the opportunity to be able to have somebody like Buck, that from all intents and purposes, in my humble opinion, appears to be a really good operator, a professional speculator, someone that has some business experience, and he has a DEX that you can create indexes. You can then take those tokens that represent your liquidity. If you wanted to, you could borrow against them on fiat once the fiat protocol launches.
Yes.
And if you wanted to, you could go and take leverage against those things over on Fame, which is fascinating. It's such a unique way that all three of those things can work together and do some things that have never been done that I think are incredibly bullish. And so with that being said, I think the earning, and once again, I could be totally wrong, but so far the price chart on pHux says that's a really valuable one to be getting, and I want to get as much of it as I can for free. The best way to get it for free is to go and provide LP.
Agreed.
And so I bought a little bit to boost my my APRs. So I bought a little bit. It's a really small percentage of my total stack, but I wanted to add to it. And so I've done that, and I went really heavy into the pools. I'm probably like 2/3, 3/4 of my current stack is over there. I'm in the RH pools, I'm in the Alex pools, I'm in the Fiat Pulse pool, and I want to earn as much pHux as possible, with the intention that, and I bought some more Fiat recently because Buck said that the Fiat protocol is going to be releasing, it sounds like, in the next few weeks. And so I'm trying to, full disclosure, I'm trying to front run all the people that are going to get really excited for that thing to be launching. And I could go and be earning pHux in the protocol by pairing Pulse and Fiat together. And then when it launches, I could go ahead and rotate some of that Fiat, if I wanted to, into other things like Fame, or other things that I may believe in. But I want to hit it hard right now, and then rotate when it's time. I don't want to rotate a lot, but that's how I'm playing my cards, and we'll see if I'm right over the next 30 to 45 days or so.
Frank, out of my Pulse and Pulse X bag, I'm probably LPing about 5% of my stack.
Okay.
Because I have the majority of my Pulse, talking like 90, 95%. I mean, it's a lot. And node validators.
All right. I got to get going, guys. Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you, Frank.
Good to see you, Frank.
We'll
Bye,
see you,
Frank.
man.
I'm going to watch this last chunk here for when Dane and you were just talking about this. I'm going to go over it again. So
Yeah, DM me if you want to talk more pHux. There's a lot of interesting strategy and game theory there. I'm happy to do it.
cool. Thanks, guys. See you
See you,
later.
bud.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's going
I
on,
get
Drew?
Nothing much. Just figured I'd come in and talk crypto with you guys. It's always good to have a great conversation. How's
Absolutely.
Mexico treating you guys?
It's good, man, but I'm in Arizona right now, just for 3 weeks. Got to come here and tighten up or button up some stuff before I go back, and then when I go back, I'll be there for the remainder of the year. So I got off the plane yesterday, man. It was 117 degrees here in Arizona.
Wow.
The first time I ever went to Florida, I was getting off the plane, and it was the middle of summer. It was July. I get off, and I'm walking on that little, what's it called? The thing that pops up and connects the on-ramp to the plane.
Oh, yeah.
There's a special name for it. I can't remember, but I'm walking off, and the heat hits you like a ton of bricks, and I thought, oh, that must be the heat from the engines of the plane. And I walked outside, and nope, that was just the normal heat. It was blazing, man. Jetway. Thank you. That's the Jetway. Cool. So what are you guys most excited for right now? I'm curious to hear Sloth and Drew, what you guys are looking forward to.
Yeah. Take it away, Drew. You got it, bud.
So really just all the positive news we've had in the past week. So we've had the XRP's case that settled in favor of crypto. That's huge. Pretty much all the major coins can't be securities. Inflation was transitory. That's going down. Like just everything is lining up for good news for a really good bull season for us in crypto.
You guys think that the Fed starts cutting next year and the game is on?
That'd be real nice.
That would be real nice.
Just seeing all these bear narratives being broken finally, one by one, and getting some bullish momentum back in the system feels nice, you know, because it's been a solid year and a half, 2 years of just like, you know, no macro reason to believe anything's going up ever again. And it's hard to remember what it's like for it to be bullish when it's been months of that over and over and over. Like, you know, it can get to you. Really like, man, is this stuff really ever going to go up again? But then literally like in one day it flips and then it's like, oh yeah, of course it's going up again. Like,
right.
What, why did I think any different?
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about that is I'm like, stop it. I want to buy more. I want to DCA more. Stop pumping. Don't pump yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's my problem right now. I'm like, even like yesterday, I wanted to get I DCA'd in the morning. I was telling Dane this before the show. I DCA'd in the morning and I was like, okay, that's my DCA. I'm good. And then I see the XRP news. I'm like, crap, this is going to pump the whole entire ecosystem. Like, literally, I was getting off my one plane and I was transferring planes, and literally I hotspotted my phone real quick and I initiated another DCA. I was like, I'm going to get one more in just in case that was the Pulsechain bottom. Not saying it was. We can always go back down. We can even go down further. But, man, I just I like where we're at. I like the sentiment. I like what's going on in the whole space. And I was like, man, I feel comfortable throwing another DCA in. So,
yeah.
I kind of agree with what Dan had said last week, I think, where, hey, I was holding on to a large bag of dry powder to DCA, and then just in case we have a major dip, and things have been going sideways, but they haven't really dipped at all. So last week I took all that dry powder and invested it pretty heavily just in case we already hit the bottom, and then we pumped right this week.
Yep.
I did too.
If I had a gun to my head, because how's Richard Hart say when he has a gun to the head? This is where I call the resistance in the last chart. If I had a gun to my head, man, I feel like we have hit bottom in our ecosystem. But I could be totally wrong, so don't quote me on that. But that's where our.
Well, I mean,
I think you'd have to see more of a black swan event to see a lower low than we've seen already. What do you think?
Which could happen. You could have like the Fed doing their pivot and then watching the markets like do a flash crash or something, but like that would do it. Or if there's like a war that broke out, obviously something like that would do it. I mean, there's things in, you know, it could facilitate that. No one predicted for example, when Bitcoin was going through its last bear market, and then when it started going up out of the bear market, there was the pandemic that happened, and you see it on the chart like this big giant whoop, and it's like big dip down, and then it It was like that was the spring, though. If you look at it, that was the spring that triggered the bull market. It's crazy.
I think about the only thing in crypto that could cost that right now is the U.S. government has something like 40,000 Bitcoin they want to dump at some point. So if they just mass dump that at the market, that would definitely have negative repercussions. But that's not supposed to be until the end of this year, if not next year, from what I've seen.
No, I think they're just going to donate it to BlackRock.
Seriously, though.
It's all the same entity, anyways, bro. Like, what does it matter?
Honestly, that wouldn't be so bad because we wouldn't have a mass dump. So if they did some,
yeah, then they could just sell it to your grandma at the top of the next on the top of the next bull run.
Yep.
Seriously.
Oh man.
Corey, what do you are you still feeling, man? So if the Fed cuts next year, I think that the real estate market's back on too. I'm not seeing like a big crash because if rates are cut again, people are funny. They're like, well, how do we get cheaper real estate prices? Well, you increase interest rates. And people are like, well, we need lower rates. Well, then you get a higher price. Like it's a self-balancing mechanism. You don't get cheaper rates and cheaper prices. That's not how it works.
No, never. Yeah.
No, never. And so if the Fed cuts next year, and so I got so here's another loss that we can all try to learn from. I had a property that I bought that I'd held for a couple of years, and I was on the news because I had some meth dealing tenants. The DEA came and did a big bust, and I was on the news for it. It was great.
I should look that up.
That's the opposite of what you want when you're buying real estate. So I bought this stupid house. They came in, properties is trashed, right? So I've got to go in. There's like 60. What did I put in like 50 grand into the house, and then I had a water pipe burst when nobody was there, and it leaked for like a good 4 days in between contractors. And the whole freaking house. So a lot of the work's just like destroyed. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So another like 40 grand is what I need to put into it. And at this point, like, I'm just tired of the deal. I'm just worn out. I don't want to do it anymore. I run the comps. I have no equity. So I'm like, I'm going to be 90 grand into this thing that's going to cash flow, called $1,000 a month. And for a lot of people, they'd be happy with that. But I'm like, I could put 90 grand, or at this point I put the 50, and I'm like, I could put another 40 into crypto though. And I'd much rather have it there. So I called one of our investor friends. I said, look, I got this deal. I just want to get out. I want to try to recoup as much of my money as possible. What do you think? And we went back and forth. He's like, yeah. So I got a little bit of a loss, a few $1,000, but
you were a distressed seller.
I was a distressed seller.
You were our target.
I wanted out of that freaking thing.
Who we hunted.
Seriously, I was. It was interesting to like be in there. I'm like, forget F this house. I want out of this stupid thing.
What's your motivation, sir? I want to buy crypto.
Seriously, I'm like, I need to load up more
now.
Seriously.
What's your motivation?
Pumping. I need to get in.
I want to sell my meth lab. I never wanted this place, and I ended up with it.
I could buy pHux. You don't understand. I'm getting 100% APY over there.
Right. So if you once you get to be a more sophisticated investor in real estate, you start to do deals in LLCs and trusts. So for this deal, I did it in a trust, and I was the trustee. And when you do a deal that way, sometimes the wires get crossed. And so the title company, they sent me an email this week, and they said, "Oh, great news! We see you're selling your property." And I was like, "Oh, that's weird. I'm not selling this one." And they sent me the REPC, which is the real estate purchase contract, and the people that I sold it to are selling it for $200,000 more than I freaking sold it to them a year ago. No, they flipped it, so it's not like all profit. So they fixed it up, put on the market. That stupid thing. There's no data to suggest that price like. When I was trying to get out, I was like, there's no data to show that was even remotely possible. And here they are. So I called them. I said, hey, I just want to make sure nobody's trying to scam me here or anything like that. Like, you really are selling? And he's like, oh yeah, we are. And I was like, good for you guys, man. Another learning The learning lessons never stop as an investor. Jeez Louise.
$200,000 smack to the face.
Ah, gosh, dang it. And the irony is like a year ago, if I would have just held that money till now and be investing now instead of like in some of the things we thought were really cool about a year ago, like I'd be up a lot more. And so like you live and you learn. It is what it is.
Timing's like everything. So
It is.
what I did when I first got into crypto was 2020 and 2021 when things were good. But 2022, I transferred my Roth into a solar 401k or solar Roth to do all the investing. And I moved like 60 grand into Hex at 18 cents. And that's just been down, down, down. So, but I just looked at that as a learning lesson. Like, hey, if I knew about the 4-year cycle, I would have waited and made more money. But now I know for next cycle.
I'm glad that you sat back and you were able to accept the lesson that came out of that. Most people, when they get their ass kicked in life, whether it's in crypto, real estate, like they become the victim and they're like, oh, it's a scam, it's whatever else. They blame somebody else. They blame Richard Hart, right? You were able to sit back and be like, hey, how do I prevent this from happening again? And you analyze the situation and you'll be better for it. And that means you're going to create wealth out of that decision. So it was actually a benefit, a feature, not a bug in the long run.
Well, the way I always looked at it is I didn't lose a ton of money in crypto. The way I looked at it is I paid 30 to 40 grand to learn an expensive but important life lesson.
That's it. And that 30 or 40 grand is an investment now that will flourish to maybe be multiple millions in the future.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's the dream.
Paul says he told me he's got a big dick. I need to invest.
Buying stock in Red Bull.
He's got the Red Bull can out.
Right.
What was your guys' thoughts on that trailer? I thought that was pretty bold to like right from the jump. They're like, what do you think people should know about you, Richard? He's like, oh, I got a big dick. I was like, bro, to lead with that, like right out of the gate. I wasn't. I don't know.
I don't think he didn't create the trailer, right? It was
it's not him creating the trailer. That's
right. It's the guys creating the movie. They put that together, and
hey guys, I gotta head off. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys.
My man, always a pleasure.
We'll be in contact in the background. Yeah.
You got any streams coming up?
No, because I'm about to head out of town. But in August, I'm gonna bump things up a bit more. Probably have some guests. Hopefully, have you guys on. Been wanting to have you guys on for a while. Dropping my website and some other products and stuff. So,
you have a course coming up too, right? And all that.
Yep. I'm gonna drop the specific details, but it's like a fundamentals course. Long story short, it's just basically like the principles that I've learned in crypto investing overall, and just condensing that into a nice 2-day course. So
your game theory and the way your brain looks at things is bar none by anyone else in this in the YouTube space, right? Like you just have a way.
Appreciate that.
Kind of like how Axis has a way with charts, right? You have the way with the game theory and the tokenomics and really analyzing what the future health of the ecosystem is from those tokenomics and game theory. And man, you break it down on a map that I would just never even thought of. It's like, holy shit. Like, bro, you made me so bullish on Icosahedron.
I got people in, baby. I convinced them. I was excited about it, and I got other people excited about it.
I still love it. I got passive income coming over there. It's still cranking out. It's not as much as it was, but I know
good flex pools to put those tokens in now too.
yeah.
Not just do you have awesome.
I got a lot of faith that's going to do really well. So
I appreciate
not just
that.
do you have awesome knowledge, but like all your PowerPoints and everything when you explain Icosahedron are great. Like they're so well laid out and easy to follow.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I was making a bunch of slides, both from like my LP course. I think like you and Dane saw that one, and then I made a bunch more of my pHux slides. I made like my fundamental slide. I got a passive income one coming. I was looking, it's like almost 300 slides in this one PowerPoint. I'm like, this is getting a little ridiculous.
And not to boost too much or boast too much, man, but your LP course, dude, that when I took it the first time, literally I made thousands and thousands of dollars off of LP and from using your guys' strategy versus the way I was doing it before. The way I was doing it before, I was just setting real tight, single-sided, like trying to like squeeze the market as much as I can, and I would wake up and I would be wrecked.
Yeah,
horrible way to LP, and I learned the hard way, right? It's like So like you guys, man, you really educated me, and yeah, I appreciate that. So if you guys
Thank you.
ever get a chance to take any of these guys' stuff, there's probably the best in the space, I would say.
Appreciate that. Thank you,
Yeah.
guys. Your support means a lot, Drew. It's a pleasure to meet you. Hope we get to talk more in the future.
Have fun in Mexico,
and,
bro.
Yeah, man.
Let's
I'll send
go.
some pictures out. I'll send some pictures
Yeah.
out on Twitter and everything. So
Yeah, have a good time, man.
yeah.
Go,
All right.
man.
Peace out, guys.
See ya.
See ya.
Oh man, so much cool stuff going on. Oh, and here's the other part of my theory with LP and heavy on pHux is Buck says he's airdropping everybody that's
Yes, he
doing
is.
things that he likes, and he's been asking everybody to put LP over there. Our last airdrop we got from those guys was worth thousands of dollars.
Yeah, dude, you don't want to know how much my airdrops are worth from those.
Oh, yours are stupid. Yeah, you doubled up on one more than me.
I know,
I'm hopeful my LP there might be some additional benefits there.
And we're not even done. Like, I mean, who knows? I might even double up again if because he is going to reward everybody participating in the ecosystem. And like, guys, he's broken down kind of to us in the live chats and Telegram. Like, do everything. If you're doing LPing, great. Do the pHux lock. Do the voting. It's on chain that when you vote for something, it's a participation in the ecosystem. You're going to get rewarded for these things. And voting, it costs you a gas. Go vote. And you're going to get rewarded for it. You want to do it as much as you possibly can inside the protocol with a mini transaction or activity, so they could see that and be like, oh, okay, these guys are doing what we want to be done, or what we need to be done, because really it's what needs to be done, not what they want to make a thing thrive. And that's why they're going to reward us. So go in there, participate. Even if you don't have a lot, that's fine. Just do everything in there with a little bit amount of money that you do have.
Right. And I like that I feel like I can go make money now with some of the stuff over there on pHux. And so instead of like I find, and this is wrong, but I find like some of the time I'm waiting around. I'm like, come on, Richard, like do something. And he said time and time again, he's like, look, if you want things to be better, then you go make things happen. And so it's cool to be able to see guys like Buck and the various teams making cool stuff. It sounds like a lot of the protocols that need an oracle, that an oracle may be launching relatively soon.
Fetch.
Yep. Should be launching within the month, and we could have our little DeFi summer in Pulsechain, because a lot of protocols are waiting for that service to launch. Those guys will launch, and so there could be some reasonable thinking behind packing your bags if you haven't already within the next 30 days or so.
I think that's a free 10x, bro.
I'm hopeful. It'd be nuts. I'm hopeful.
I think it's a free 10x DeFi summer, our own little ecosystem blossoming out. Guys, also, if you guys are running node validators, you can run a Fetch Oracle validator and create more passive income. And if anybody who sacrificed for liquid loans, which is so cool, because we sacrificed, and I thought like we kind of messed up.
Is that guaranteed? Are you sure?
Pretty much.
That?
I mean, this is what I'm. Okay, so it's not
I
guaranteed.
don't know if we want to like.
But here's the thing: it's told to me in the back rooms, but it's okay to talk about it. But like, nothing's guaranteed that I say here. I'm just a dude on the internet.
Sure.
I'm just a dude on the internet, so it's a speculation. If you sacrifice for liquid loans, you're going to get the Fetch Oracle airdrop. Speculation.
And we've talked about Mintra and the lack of like communication, some things over there. So shout out to those guys. Like they apparently have released on testnet. There's more communication now. Sounds like their audits are done. And so credit where credit is due. Sounds like those guys
and I've heard they're
getting it together. So that's cool.
I've heard their UI is fire. Like I haven't gone on. I need to go on there, and like I heard it's like one of the best. That it's better than OpenSea. And I mean, this is what people are talking about. But I've heard it's absolute fire. So I'm hoping, man, because I did invest in Mintra, and so it would be super exciting to see them come out and absolutely blow it up. And these are the things that we need. So it's all these little businesses being created and blossoming on Pulsechain that's going to give us that free 10x. But our little DeFi summer can do. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard the B Roots versus Buck. I love Buck and I respect him with every ounce of my body, right? But like B Roots, man, he's an OG in the space. Whether you like him or not, I know he's controversial because of the whole meme coin thing, but he knows his shit, right? And man, I feel like he won that debate, and I feel like the stuff that he's been calling has been pretty spot on. And so
you think a Pulsechain 10x before the end of the year? What's your likelihood on that? What percentage?
I think it will 10x when DeFi summer comes.
Yeah. 90%. Your personal certainty is that like 90% sure you think 70, 50? What's your
by the end of the year? So I'll give it a 60-40, 60 that I think it will.
Okay. I like
it. That's how I feel. Also, depending on how all this stuff blossoms out, right? If the Fetch Oracle comes out rather quick, and we see that spun up, and then we see all these protocols launching because of the Fetch Oracle, then yes. What if people are waiting? Maybe they're waiting to the Bitcoin halving and all this other thing. I mean, there's other narratives that you can go down the rabbit hole with why you wouldn't launch. But man, the Jubilee year ends in September. It's the bullish news that we had all week. I
Fed loosen up next year. Let's go.
I got a gut feeling, man. This was it.
Well, something else too that unfortunately this is bad news, but with the whole multi-chain bridge hack, a lot of other ecosystems like Phantom are not doing really well right now. But what that also is going to do is it's going to drive more money towards other ecosystems like Pulse.
Correct. Yeah, Phantom unfortunately took a massive hit on that one. I like the Phantom ecosystem. In fact, if I wasn't in Pulse, I would be in the Phantom ecosystems where I would be at. I used to like them before I found Richard Hart, and I like what they do over there. I also like AVAX. I kind of like what they do over there, and so those are where I'd be living if I was not in. But I love Pulse way more, so all my money's here.
Same, but Phantom does have some good stuff. Like
they do, man.
Awesome, and like a lot of the stuff they were doing way before everyone else. So
yeah, they were very innovative.
If Pulse wasn't here, I'd be on that ecosystem as well.
I used to yield farm in Phantom, and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know I was doing liquidity. I didn't know. But I would just see like the big 1,000, 2,000% on these assets, and I would just go buy those random assets in Phantom and go stake them in there trying to get that yield. I was getting wrecked the whole time, but I mean, it was a learning lesson, and I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't know I was providing liquidity, and that was happening on Phantom when I was first introduced into crypto. So it's very interesting. I don't know if Dane Wan is the one who introduced me to all that, and that's how I got involved with crypto. And he was deep in the Phantom ecosystem, and so it's a good ecosystem. I think they'll do well. They wasn't their fault. The multi-chain bridge hack happened. It wasn't their particular bridge. It was just they're in the crossfire. But a lot of the assets got damaged or harmed. And man, I heard I saw on Twitter there was an inside job too, and I don't even know. This is not good stuff, but yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, every day it looks smarter and smarter that Richard refuses to tell most people where he lives.
I mean, the whole ecosystem just looks smarter and smarter every single day, man. I mean, yeah, we've had a couple mishaps in PulseX. Okay, sure. I mean, we're building a whole new city, a new college town, right? We're going to have some mishaps here and there, but no one's lost, $100 million. No one's lost $50 million. Sure, there was some, liquidity problems. We weren't getting fees. Okay, sure. There were some misrepresentations on APYs. Okay. But man, these are so insignificant to these other things we're seeing in crypto that are happening where people are losing just tons of money. And so I love our little college town. And, if we got a drunk guy on the street once in a while that we got to pick up and pull back in the frat house, that's fine. We'll do it.
Well, even the APY thing, okay, it's not 80% APY. I'm getting 60% APY. I'm still pretty happy with that.
Yeah. Well, I don't participate much in those LP, so I know Sami, he does, and he was a little bit upset about it. I mean, in my LP, man, I have 100% of my LP right now on pHux because I'm chasing that pHux token. Dane alluded to, and I don't do a lot of LP, and so the little bit of I am doing, I want to make sure I'm focusing 100% in the stuff that I really, really like. And I love the incentive token. I think it could have some good speculation and some utility in the future. But man, I'm gonna go where I see the utilities at now, and pHux has got great utility right now.
Yep, agreed. Well, cool guys. That's probably a good place to wrap up.
That's
today.
fun.
We've been going for about an hour. Any last parting words you guys want to give?
Drew, go ahead.
For anyone who has not heard of it, when it comes out, go see the Highest of Stakes movie. It comes out in about a month or so. So go support the Hex community, the Pulse community, and hopefully we can get it on a major platform like Amazon, Hulu, Netflix.
I think it's inevitable. And if the Highest of Stakes is watching, or if they see this clip anywhere, can you guys get it out in San Juan, Puerto Rico? Because I'm back out in Puerto Rico when you guys are releasing that. And I would love to go watch it with a bunch of Hexicans. And Puerto Rico has a crap ton of Hexicans on that island. So it would be a blast if we could have a Highest of Stakes release party there. So
that'd be cool. All right, cool guys. Well, thanks for joining everybody. We appreciate you guys in the comments.
Peace.
We'll catch you next week. Have a good one.